call on those loved ones who wish to communicate. They have free will just the same as us, and they come of their own choosing. Now, a medium can stand on a platform. Gordon Smith has done this before, where he's appeared at a big hall in Edinburgh and nothing actually came. There was no communication, and he was honest enough to stand up and say, ladies and gentlemen, Spirit are not working with me tonight, so I'm going to introduce you to another medium. And they were actually putting him to the test to see if he would actually make it up or fake it. But Gordon is too honourable to do anything like that. And he was being put to the test. But, you know, mediumship is always an experiment. But what it does, when that experiment works well, it brings the comfort and upliftment to those who have lost a loved one, who are feeling that loss terribly. And it gives them the assurance that there is a life beyond this life, and that that bond of love that was there when their loved ones are on the earth still exists. And that is what attracts the communication, that continuous and everlasting bond of love.
You see, Spirit, just very briefly, Spirit cannot tell us how to live our lives. They cannot live our lives for us. And unfortunately, we do get from time to time certain people that will come into our movement that think Spirit are going to tell them exactly how to live their lives. That is not the way it works. Personal responsibility means that we have to be responsible for our own lives. They will guide us, but that's it.
So, an ordinary member of public coming into this church on a Sunday or Monday or whatever, what will they expect to find? What is the sort of order of service? How do you work this?
Well, hopefully, I would expect them to have a warm welcome as they came through the doors, because to us that's the most important thing. The order of service would change according to whatever day it is upon. Now, on a Sunday, we have two services, 10:45 in the morning and 6:30 in the evening, which we call our divine service, in which we will say prayers, sing hymns. The medium will give an address or lecture, whichever you wish to call it, and then the medium will also give a demonstration of mediumship or communication.
There's three different types, isn't there, of mediumship?
Of course, there are three different types of mediumship, I always say four, actually.
Yeah.
There is clairvoyance. Some mediums are clairvoyant, which means that they see through the senses of the spiritual eye, not the physical eyes. Or if they're clairaudient, then they hear, but not through the physical ears, through the senses. And then there is clairsentience, where the medium literally senses what is happening, and that is the most difficult. But most mediums actually work through clairsentience. Though they may say I'm seeing or I'm hearing, they're sensing, and that's very difficult. And then there's a lot of what I call clairnonsense, and that is when people stand up there and try to do something that they're not really qualified to do, and all we hear is a load of nonsense come out of their mouths. But the services do vary. Jeff will tell you about a Monday night.
Yes, we do try to steer very clear of that sort of thing. You see, can I just point out very clearly that spiritualism should not be confused with those people who go down to the end of the pier to see Madam whoever she is. Spiritualism is a link with spirit. It's not psychic, it's a link with spirit, where the medium will raise their vibrations to join spirit, to meet spirit halfway. Our Monday evening service, for me, is a very important service because we don't have any hymns on a Monday evening. The medium will open, if they wish, with a short prayer, and then they will give a talk about the philosophy of spiritualism. So it is an evening where people can come to be educated about spiritualism and the philosophy of it. They then have an opportunity to ask the medium questions. Now, of course, every medium is at different levels of learning, and so they will give the answers according to their experiences and according to their level of learning. And then we would just have a short demonstration of messages of mediumship to end the service. We get usually a lot of young people coming to that type of service because they're searching They're wanting to know more about spiritualism. They're wanting to question the medium so that they can learn. And then on a Wednesday evening, we have our seekers group. Now, that is another evening where we have different types of mediumship. You will have everything from messages, how the medium gives their messages over, how they learn to open up to the world of spirit. We'll have everything maybe from psychic art to inspirational writing to philosophy, all different levels of mediumship, so it gives people an opportunity of learning about all the different types of mediumship.
But it's not actually an evening where a medium is invited necessarily to demonstrate.
No.
It's more of a teaching evening.
Yes.
Thursday afternoon is a service of mediumship, so there is no lecture or address. There's an opening prayer, closing prayer, a couple of hymns, and then just demonstration of mediumship. We do special evenings, like an evening of mediumship, where this is actually charged for on the door. Now, other services are all free will offering, a donation. But we charge on the door, not a lot. It's charged because we have to cover the medium's expenses. And we bring mediums from all over the country, so obviously a church being a charity, all of our churches are charities, we're not funded by any large organisation. Even though we are affiliated to the Spiritualist National Union, that itself is a charity. So we have to charge to cover the expenses of the medium and of course to keep our churches open. We need to make a little money to cover the fabric of the church and to keep it going. And this is what this new act that's coming in is really carping on about, because they don't like the fact that we charge and they're calling that a commodity. Well, it's not. It's to keep our churches open, and it's also to cover the expenses of the medium. Now, being affiliated to the Spiritualist National Union, this is an umbrella body for us which is so good, a wonderful union which supports us. We have the Arthur Findlay College within that Spiritualist National Union, the wonderful stately home which belonged to Sir Arthur Findlay, who was a wealthy Scottish businessman from Glasgow, came into Spiritualism like so many others to disprove it. Found that he couldn't, he had so much proof that he willed his home in 1964 to the Spiritualist National Union to become a college to teach the philosophy of Spiritualism and to train mediums. Now, it's very successful because people come from all over the world to study at the Arthur Findlay College. It's a great asset to us. And it was a wonderful gift from Sir Arthur Findlay. I mean, it was something more than we could ever have dreamed of. And you have to go to the Arthur Findlay College to appreciate the wonderful atmosphere there.
Can I just point out, Al, that we do have ministers in Spiritualism. Now, some people think that we don't have ministers. We have a wonderful training program where they have to go up training for certificates, diplomas, etc., and take an officiant's course, then a minister's course before they can become a recognised minister through law. And all the training facilities, all the courses are there available from Stansted Hall, from the Arthur Findlay College, for people who wish to take these courses to progress in their work for spiritualism.
And the ministers also have exactly the same recognition as a minister of any other denomination. So they are recognised through their qualifications in just exactly the same way as, say, a vicar from the Church of England or a priest from the Catholic Church.
Can I say that also on the last Wednesday of every month we have our open platform. We also have what we call fledgling evenings from time to time. And this is to encourage up-and-coming mediums, those mediums who are sitting in development circles, to be able to come forward and get a little experience of working in a church.